A Tale of Revenge and Destiny, comparing Aladdin, the Count of Monte Cristo, and Ezel. The themes of fate, revenge, and transformation have long captivated audiences in literature, folklore, and modern adaptations. Two iconic stories, Aladdin and the Count of Monte Cristo, explore these themes through vastly different cultural lenses but share striking similarities in their protagonists' journeys. While Aladdin originates from Middle Eastern folklore and revolves around magical fortune, the Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas presents a calculated, human-driven transformation of a wronged man seeking vengeance. The influence of Dumas' classic can also be seen in the Turkish TV series Ezel, a modern retelling that blends the essence of the Count of Monte Cristo with a contemporary setting. Examining these three stories together reveals how timeless narratives of justice and destiny continue to evolve and resonate with audiences worldwide. The journey of the protagonist, luck versus strategy versus psychological evolution. At the heart of both Aladdin and the Count of Monte Cristo lies the transformation of the main character. Aladdin, a poor but clever young man, stumbles upon a magical lamp that grants him fortune and power. His journey is largely shaped by fate and the supernatural, as he uses the genie's power to change his social standing and win the love of Princess Jasmine. The emphasis in Aladdin is on destiny. His rise to wealth and nobility is guided by luck and external intervention rather than personal strategy or long-term planning. In contrast, Edmond Dantes in the Count of Monte Cristo is an innocent man betrayed by those he trusted. Imprisoned unjustly, he spends years planning his revenge. Through intelligence, resourcefulness, and rigorous self-improvement, he reinvents himself as the mysterious Count of Monte Cristo. Unlike Aladdin, his transformation is not magical but methodical. It is a story of calculated vengeance rather than fated prosperity. Dante's rise is self-made, driven by knowledge and manipulation rather than divine intervention. Ezel modernizes this tale by setting it in present-day Turkey, where Omar, the protagonist, is betrayed by his closest friends and sentenced to prison. After years of transformation, he returns as Ezel, a rich and powerful man who systematically seeks revenge. Ezel takes Dumas' themes of betrayal, loss, and retribution and adapts them for a contemporary audience, demonstrating how the Count of Monte Cristo remains relevant in different cultural contexts. While the external circumstances of these characters differ, their psychological arcs take distinct paths. Aladdin's development is largely external. He gains confidence and nobility due to his success, but does not undergo deep emotional turmoil. Dantes, however, transforms from an optimistic young man into a hardened, vengeful figure, his emotions controlled by his meticulous plan for justice. Ezel, on the other hand, embodies a more tragic evolution, as he becomes psychologically tormented by his mission, often questioning his own identity. His journey is not merely about executing revenge, but about confronting the cost of that revenge on his own humanity. Mentorship and the role of the wise guide. In all three stories, the protagonist is guided by a wise mentor who provides crucial knowledge and resources for their transformation. In Aladdin, the genie serves as both a magical helper and an advisor, granting Aladdin the means to escape his poverty. Though the genie possesses great power, he is ultimately a servant bound by the lamp's constraints, much like Abbé Faria in the Count of Monte Cristo. Abbé Faria, the wise prisoner who educates Edmond Dantes in the art of strategy, wealth, and knowledge, plays a role similar to the genie but with a more philosophical edge. Unlike the genie, who acts as a wish-granter, Abbé Faria instills in Dantes the skills and wisdom necessary for him to succeed on his own. This parallel is further reflected in Ezel through the character of Ramus Karieski, often referred to as Dei, uncle, who guides Ezel on his path to vengeance. Like Abbé Faria, Ramus is an experienced figure with a deep understanding of human nature and the criminal underworld, shaping Ezel's transformation in a way that goes beyond simple revenge. Themes of betrayal, revenge, and their psychological toll. While Aladdin and the Count of Monte Cristo share rags-to-riches narratives, their moral outlooks on revenge differ significantly. Aladdin, despite facing hardships, is not driven by a desire for vengeance. His enemies, such as Jafar in later versions of the tale, serve as obstacles rather than deeply personal betrayers. His journey is more about achieving happiness than settling scores. Conversely, the Count of Monte Cristo is fundamentally a revenge story. Edmond Dantes meticulously punishes those who wronged him, believing that justice is best served personally. However, his vengeance ultimately brings both satisfaction and suffering, raising moral questions about whether revenge is worth its consequences. Ezel takes this conflict a step further by exploring how vengeance consumes the protagonist's identity, turning him into something unrecognizable compared to his former self. The psychological toll of revenge is more deeply explored in Ezel, where the protagonist's new life is plagued by guilt, loneliness, and internal conflict. Unlike Dantes, who remains somewhat detached from emotional turmoil, Ezel's transformation does not bring him peace. Instead, his obsession with justice erodes his ability to trust, love, or enjoy the wealth and power he has accumulated. In this sense, Ezel adds an additional layer of complexity to the Monte Cristo narrative by emphasizing the existential consequences of revenge. Cultural influence and the full-circle adaptation. The connection between Aladdin and the Count of Monte Cristo is not merely thematic but also historical. The famous collection 1001 Nights, which includes Aladdin, was translated into French by Antoine Galland in the 18th century. This translation played a crucial role in introducing Middle Eastern folklore to European audiences, influencing Western literature. Alexander Dumas, whose works often drew inspiration from historical and literary sources, may have been influenced by these tales when writing The Count of Monte Cristo. The full circle moment occurs with Ezel, a Turkish adaptation of The Count of Monte Cristo, which in turn borrows themes and structures that echo Middle Eastern storytelling traditions. This cycle of inspiration, from Middle Eastern folklore to European literature and back to Turkish television, highlights the enduring nature of these narratives and their ability to transcend cultural boundaries. Conclusion: the enduring appeal of the revenge narrative. Though Aladdin, the Count of Monte Cristo, and Ezel differ in cultural and historical backgrounds, they share fundamental storytelling elements that continue to captivate audiences. Whether driven by magic, intelligence, or relentless vengeance, the stories of these protagonists remind us that the path to power is never simple, and the pursuit of justice often comes with unforeseen consequences. These tales challenge us to reflect on the true cost of success, revenge, and the choices that define our identities.